This is Danielle DeVita back with another video. I overheard someone say that marriage is overrated. A lot of women say, I like the strong silent type. Well, a lot of men like the feminine silent type. And for sure, it's going down. So a lot of times people are not getting the when to speak and when to be quiet is one of the most powerful. She's going to be aggressive, thinking that. And as someone who's been married for 12 years, she's driven, not lazy. And this will make yourself and get on the right path. That understand that you might be doing a disservice to your daughter if you don't help her understand vetting and proper decision making. Now she's going to be a basket case later. If you don't help her understand emotional intelligence, she's going to hold on to a lot of emotional baggage. If you don't. Okay, so welcome. If you are on Facebook and YouTube, I'll be looking here. And if you're on Instagram, I'll be looking here. So welcome. We are live. So last week, I was not here because the time zone. So I was not able to try to get that to be streamlined easily because of the time difference. So I'm back. And today we are going to, and I think I'm cut off a little bit on here. All right. So today I'm back and I'm going to talk about the topic today is argumentative, combative, cooperative. These are the terms we hear often. So I'm going to talk about these particular terms, and I have a video for you. And when I do this video is not to dismiss people, or it is not me trying to start beef or anything like that. So I'm just saying that up front, that's what this video is not about that, but it is an example so you can be able to see a live example. Okay, so I'm gonna do this. I don't know if I want to start off. Well, first, let me just start off by saying what argumentative is, and also make sure my kids are going to bed. Good night. Okay, so argumentative is so I want to first point out that I do think that you should speak your mind. You should say what's on your mind if it's something that needs to be said. Everything doesn't need to be said, okay? But argumentative is when you are this person that just has to come back at it, like you love disagreeing. Not that you just have a different perspective and a different point of view, but you like the rush of arguing. If you some people like that repartee, that stuff. Like when I talked about Maxine Shaw, attorney at law from Living Single, she liked that. Some people like the one who played Angela from that Tyler Perry movie, Why Did I Get Married? She likes the idea of arguing because it makes, making up better. For some people, that's how they like that. They like the whole yelling and screaming because they like the makeup, but the makeup can be just as good without having to argue. Now, combative is just like that, but you always like to combat. You not just like to go back and forth arguing your points, but you are more like your blood pressure is always up. You're ready to fight all the time. You just, and so that's what's going on with that. Now, let me real quick just to make sure my disturb is not on. Okay, so and cooperative is a term that we hear men say. We mostly have heard this term by Kevin Samuels. So this is not to say that he didn't coin this term, obviously, but we hear this term often. I want a cooperative, friendly, and fit, woman, right? But cooperative does not mean you are a yes woman. Cooperative means that you know how to keep the peace. You can work well. So let me take it out of context of relationships. A lot of times you, as a woman, work in corporate America or in some industry where you have to learn to work well with others. There doesn't always need to be some type of repartee or argument or disagreement. There, at least, can there be some way we can work together without there's always us going back and forth. All right. So can we work well together? And you can't do that always being combative, being on the defensive, always thinking that the person across from you is your enemy. And sometimes you've had bad relationships. So the other person, you do perceive them as your enemy, and you build these walls up. And then you think, well, if they love me, if they care about me, they're going to tear the walls down. This is stuff that you listen to when you are listening to R&B, and when you watch these fantasy movies. Ain't nobody got time for that. Right? You either want it or you don't. You want to be in a relationship and you're going to tear those walls down or not. So I'm not going to go all into the relationship of that aspect. I'm just going to go into how you cannot be argumentative and combative, how you can't be a cooperative woman. And I am not trying to take talking points from men. I'm saying this for your own peace. For your own peace. I'm telling you, for you to just be so upset and your blood pressure up, that messes you up. You're letting people you don't know trigger you, get you all revved up, or people you do know, but you're letting them, you're a puppet. This person can say, push the right buttons, yank the right string to get you to act or react a certain way. Come on. Do you really want someone to have that level of control, that they control your emotions, how you respond, how you act, what you say, what you do, get you in trouble, get you to lose your job? Is it that serious? So get you to lose your relationships, get you to put your foot in your mouth, can't take things back. Do you really want to be in that predicament? No. So I'm going to show you a video, and I do love her. I think that she is talented. I think she's entertaining, but I saw this video that came up yesterday. And yes, I watch it for entertainment purposes and also because this helps with coaching. So just so I can say this is fair use as well, at 9:30, Tuesdays and Thursdays, I do live coaching. I do free coaching. So you can go to mrsdanielledevita.com and you can get coaching at a cost, but I do coaching and I use these as pointers, right? So what I'm about to show you is not to create beef, but it is to show you this is very argumentative. And I'll show you ways you can say it, how you can say something in a different way without it being argumentative. I love to get my point across. I love to do that. But I don't feel like I have to be right. And I need to protect my peace. So I don't have time to go back and forth. So let's get to the video. I hope I broke it in pieces because I can't fast forward and rewind. This is Kendra G yesterday. She was talking to a guy, and I thought he was a pretty decent guy, but she seems very argumentative, very triggered, very like her blood pressure. I kind of wanted to say, take a chill pill. Let's listen. Instagram, you can only hear but not see. All right, here we go.
B-Boy Soul is your name?
My name is B-Boy Soul. My last name is Boy Soul, but I'm an artist, and my last name is I use Boy Soul as my artist name.
You mentioned you're an artist. What kind of artist are you?
I'm a musical director, producer, and a record executive.
Okay, so you consider that an artist or a music executive?
So I don't like to lead with that because that's kind of why I'm single right now. So I'm a musical director for Raheem Devon and different other artists. So when I lead with that,
no. You said you were an artist. An artist is Raheem Devon. Right. You're saying that you are an executive. So I'm trying to understand. Are you an executive or are you a performer yourself?
Not or, and.
Okay, so what kind of artist are you? Back to my original question.
A musician.
What kind of musician? Do you play? Do you sing? Do you rap? What do you do?
I'm a producer.
So a producer is an artist, or is a producer a producer?
Yes, I don't understand why it's confused. Yes,
okay,
a producer can be an artist as well.
So Neo is a producer, but he's an artist. He sings. So I'm asking. Let me be clear. Do you sing?
Mm-hmm. No.
Do you rap?
Yes, sometimes, but I said it the way I said it because that's what it is. Like, for instance, Khaled is a producer, but he's an artist. You can go to your DSP and get a Khaled project, but he's a producer. He doesn't necessarily sing or rap. He's a producer artist. Does that make sense?
Okay. Let's continue. So this is B-Boy. Most people, yeah, I'm sorry, y'all. I was confused. Y'all can add this. If y'all want to add this to the slow moment that I be having on this show, I will rock it. I will wear that hat because I have a lot of slow moments.
No, that was funny.
But But what I will say is, you could have just said your name was B. Because B-Boy Soul sounds like a stage name, which if you give me a stage name, this happens with everyone, I'm going to dig deeper. So you could do that. It's just that when people say, when I lead with that, that kind of irritates me a little bit, because I'm like, well, you led with that. So how can you be mad if people know that's what you do? Because you led with that.
Oh, I see the disconnect. No, that's my actual name.
Okay, so why did I show this clip? The reason why I show this clip, because I do believe that she was argumentative. So just so for those who didn't get an understanding of what this was about, Kendra G has a show where people come on and it's like an online dating show. I really like it. I like it. Now this guy, his name is B. Bousseau. Bousseau is a French name and it's spelled funny. So he pronounces it. Well, I think in this case, he just said B. Bousseau. His first name is B, his last name is Bousseau. And she thought that he said boy soul. And he thought that she said boy soul because other people actually say boy soul as a way to properly to try to pronounce his name. So he advertises as boy soul as well, but it's Bousseau. So she thought he was using his stage name and was like, well, if you don't want people to know that you're an artist, why are you using your stage name? But that was actually his name. I say that she's argumentative. It's because the way she did it. The way she did it was argumentative. Instead of saying, I noticed you use your stage, or is this your stage name? Because I don't like when people, it's not good to assume. So to say, assume that he was using his stage name and say, well, the name that you use, is this your stage name? Then he could have corrected, which he did, that no, this is my actual name. He mentioned that he uses his first and last name when he introduces himself. Now, he said that he was an artist. He was trying to be general. And then he went more specific when she asked more questions. So he's a producer. Just so you know, anyone who's a producer or someone who produced beats is also an artist. So I think that's the same thing. Like, I can't remember his name, but the guy who does Bruno Mars, if you know that song Uptown Funk, if you look it up, it has like someone else's name. And that guy is the producer, I believe, but he doesn't actually sing or anything like that. He's not a performer, is what she was trying to get at. He's not a performer, but I think it was Mark Ronson or something like that. But he is a producer, which he is also considered an artist. He produced beats. He's an artist. So anyway, it wasn't that she didn't understand it. It was the fact that she was very argumentative. Now, imagine some of you all are on a date or you're talking to people and you're argumentative in this way. And then when you're wrong, instead of saying, oh my gosh, I stand corrected, and then you change and then you change your attitude, you being defensive, you keep on that same attitude so you don't look as bad. And I feel like she did that. She didn't change her tune. It was almost like she was triggered from the very, very beginning, which the whole attitude came because she thought he was trying to front using his stage name, but saying that he does not want to present himself that way. I mean, he's going to have to say who he is in this case, because the way she was asking the questions, he had to say who he is. I do get the fact that a lot of people do not want to actually say what they do because they don't want people to do that. Now, I'm going to go to the next clip, and then I'll give my full input from here. So let me do the next clip. And again, I forgot to mention, please subscribe, like, share, and thanks for watching. If you are watching for the first time, if you're coming back, thank you. I will later on add the comments for people to comment, but not right now. So let me put the next one on so you can see what I mean about her being argumentative. That was the first clip. It was a 23-minute clip. I have about a total 6 minutes. This was 2 minutes, a minute and I think 2 minutes and a half, and this is 4 minutes, to show you that her energy was negative on this with this guy. So here we go. Again, Instagram can only hear, not see.
5. Do you want the woman to be in Richmond, Virginia?
No, because I'm not even sure how long I'm going to be in Richmond, Virginia.
Why were you laughing?
Someone said, AKA don't ask for no comp tickets. Yeah, exactly.
Excuse me. All right, so she had to make a certain amount of money.
Does she have to make a certain amount? I honestly never thought about that. Just don't be needy broke. I mean, we all go through transitions, you know, in stages in life, but just don't be like that needy broke. You know what I mean?
What's needy broke?
Like you call somebody, hey girl, what you up to? Nothing, just trying to figure out how I'm gonna pay this light bill. Oh, nah. Like that's needy broke.
Okay, so you can't be needy broke. That's the first time I kind of heard that phrase before. Why would a woman be lucky to be with you?
Why would a woman be lucky to be with me? Because you will experience things that you want to, this is going to sound arrogant, but you're going to experience things you want to experience with a regular guy. My lifestyle affords me certain luxuries and certain experiences, certain associations, things of that nature. I've had the experience of failing at love. So I've done the work, the shadow work, as they call it, to try to get it to get it right. I'm a good listener. I'm an intelligent man, and I'm goal-oriented and goal-minded from a relationship standpoint. I would like to see my partner win just as much as me. So I think that's an asset to a woman.
So two things. You said all night long, you don't want a woman that wants to be with you because of what you do. And when I asked you, why would a woman be lucky to be with you? The first thing you said, she's lucky to be with me because of what I do.
I'm glad you said that. I'm glad you said that.
So that makes no sense to me.
Because here's the thing. You asked, why would you be lucky? Now, you don't just get that automatically. Just because you
but no, but it doesn't matter because you want a woman that doesn't want that. Like you said, hold on, just hear me out. You said, I don't want a woman that wants to be with me because of what I do. I try to hide that. And then the first attribute you said, why she's lucky to be with you is because of what you do. So basically, if you didn't do what you did, she would not be lucky to be with you. So it's like you're saying you don't want this woman to want you because of what you do, but now you're saying this is the reason why you're lucky to be with me because of what I do. That's a contradiction.
It's not at all. Because again, I said I don't want you to be with me because of that. Now, again, that's still a perk of being with me, but I don't want that to be the only.
What is the perk? Why do you feel like you are like so great because of what you do? What's so many perks about that?
Is that what you're hearing me say?
I mean, boy, I live in the same world. So what makes you think that this world, you call people who don't live in our world regular people? There's a lot of people who don't live in our world that have substantial relationships. So you present it like you are this and that because you work in the music industry. What makes you so special because you work in the music industry?
I never said I was special because I
You
work in the
did say that. The first attribute of why a person, you said they have perks. They don't just get these perks. So I'm just trying to figure out, because I live in this world. So you can't, I'm not impressed. I live in it. And I live in it on my own merit. So I'm just trying to understand why you feel as though you're so better than other men who don't live in this world.
Can I answer the question?
Absolutely.
Okay. I never said that. Never said that. To go back to the beginning, I said I don't want someone to be with me because of that. I stand on that. That is something that comes with being with me, but I don't want that to be the sole reason you're there.
Okay, but you use the word regular. You said you said that you're not a regular guy. So what does that mean though? So break that down. What makes you not a regular guy?
Well, Kendra, let's be honest. You, like you said, you work in the same industry as me. We are afforded a different lifestyle. We pay bills just like everyone else, but we do it in a way that's not normal. That's the only thing I mean by regular. Like most people have a 9 to 5, they have a schedule to keep that is unlike what we are afforded, the lifestyle that we are afforded. That's all I mean. I don't mean like in terms of stature being better. I mean in terms of lifestyle. My lifestyle is not normal.
Okay, so just so you know, being argumentative, combative, I'm not saying that this is something that just women shouldn't do. It is something that I don't think anyone should do because I don't think it's feminine or masculine. And I will say this. He was not combative, like he did not mirror her energy. And I will say that I feel like that's masculine. The way he was like, you know what, I'm not gonna, accept this invitation to get into this type of argument. And I'm not saying that she was trying to create an argument, but it was a little drama filled. Now, The reason why I have this clip, I had more than one clip to show that her energy was just like she was really not feeling this guy, and she showed it in her energy. Now, mind you, I will agree with her with the fact that when you mentioned about all the things that you're lucky, if you are going to mention the perk part, that should not be first. Okay. But I understood what he was saying. So just so you guys can get an understanding of this, because she was very argumentative and she didn't understand it. But for a lot of men, they feel like, well, I don't want a woman to want me because I have money. But if you are with me, just know that that is a perk, because that means I'm a provider. I can provide a lifestyle that you possibly want. That's a perk. But don't get with me because I have money. But if you do happen to be with me, you will greatly benefit from it. Because let's face it, every woman wants a man who can provide. So don't be with me because I can provide, but it is a perk that I am a provider, right? So I wanted to mention that. But I believe the whole time I was watching her on this clip, and this was something she posted yesterday, the entire time I wanted to be like, just breathe, take a chill pill, because she was up. She was just, she was turned up, and he wasn't turned up. So I'm not understanding why she was so up here when the energy didn't provide that. Because I do know on a couple of occasions she says, I match your energy, but she wasn't matching his energy. She was up. And some of you are argumentative, and this is a great example of that. This is a real life example of someone who's combative and being argumentative. I'm not saying I know who she is as a person. However, me watching enough videos, I have come to see that a lot of, and she's talented, she's beautiful, she has it going on financially and in her life and all other spaces. But there are some areas that I believe that she could work on as far as getting a man that she desires. And that's going to probably be being more feminine and being less combative and argumentative. I think that's a thing of hers. Towards the end of her video, which I'm not going to post all that, I just want to post the part about the argumentative and combative. But she mentioned, which a lot of you all say, I want to say what I have to say and no holdbacks. No one's telling you not to hold back. I'm not telling you to be a yes woman and things like that. Lord knows that's not me. However, there should be a filter. There should be some things you just don't need to say. Like, sometimes we argue and we're combative over things that does not cause us to lose our integrity. We're argumentative and combative over things that does not go against our standards and our values. And but we sit there. It doesn't cost us anything, but we choose to be disagreeable. We choose to be argumentative and combative, and that will cause you to have ulcers. It will destroy your peace. And I know, and like, let me post this because Steph said something. Let's see here. This may be a result of growing up in a home where your voice didn't matter, or witnessing arguing in the home. And I appreciate you saying that. And I do appreciate that you taking the time to watch my video. So I like that comment, because that is true. A lot of people are in homes or environments where they see argument, and this is how they respond because this is what they know. And in some cases, if it's something that you saw your parents do and they saw their parents do, this is what we like to call generational curses. And what I want to do, why I have my videos, is to help you create generational blessings. I want to change that. We can reverse the curse by you making the change. So just because you hear arguments, that doesn't help you in your peace. I know it's what you know, but it doesn't help you today. Because when we keep talking about the past and how we grew up, we cannot change our future, because we're suffering from inertia. We're stagnant. We don't like to move. We're so busy stuck in the past or stuck in the moment that we can't see the future. But there are things in the future for you that are great, but you won't know it. You can't prosper in the future because you're so busy stuck about how you grew up. And you're stuck on what someone did to you, or you never got to speak your mind, so you want to speak it now, or you're a straight shooter and you like to tell it how it is. And I am one for telling it how it is when it's necessary. If it's not necessary, you're wasting your time, you're wasting your breath, you're destroying your peace, you're destroying your relationships, because either you got to be right, because you got to be heard. And not to say that your voice is not valuable and it shouldn't be heard, but let's face it. There's things that we're saying, things that we're doing, and it serves no purpose but for you to just say what you have to say. You just wasted hot air. You wasted breath that wasn't valuable. Try sometimes, just try to go 2 days to only speak when it's necessary, when there's a time to take a stand, to say what it is you need to say. If it holds no value, if it does not serve a purpose, if it's not towards your principles, your integrity, your ethics, your values, and something that's preventing you, trying to stop you from doing something illegal or anything like that, or morally wrong, like, just don't say anything. Only speak to things that is going to help you, and that is necessary. Try doing that. Try not talking at all unless it's necessary and valuable. And a lot of times you guys are going to think everything you say is valuable. And this is not to dismiss her or to do anything. This is not beef, but this is to show you that this has nothing to do with the guy itself, himself, because I don't know him. But this is to say that sometimes we are in conversations with people, whether it's a romantic relationship, a familial relationship, whatever it is. Sometimes we are argumentative, we are combative, and we are always on level 10 when take a chill pill, breathe, relax, and listen. And listen means taking the time to comprehend what people are saying and using that to actually be better, which means to listen means you are hearing what someone is saying audibly, you're hearing, but you're also comprehending. You're taking what it is they're saying, you're internalizing it, and then what are you going to do about it? That's listening. What are you going to do about it? Are you going to say something that say and do something that shows that you heard what they said? So you heard, but now what are you going to do about it? And a lot of times we are growing up, we are in relationships, and we're talking about what someone did do or why they couldn't do this and why this is why they are the way they are and they don't want to change. Strive for improvement. Strive to be better each and every day. Let's not talk about the past, what someone used to do, but let's start listening today. Comprehend, internalizing what someone is saying, and then doing something about it. Now, if you don't want to do what someone says, that's okay. Because I always say there's crossroads, and crossroads is not just in romantic relationships. There's two things. Either we're going to change for the better. We're going to make our relationship better, or we're just not going to do this at all. Sometimes, and I'm not saying cut people off. That's not what I'm saying. But you can distance yourself, or at least in that form of whatever it is, distance yourself from a person when you're not getting what you need, not getting what you want. And sometimes we have people, what we call friends, and they're really just associates, because friends, people that care about you, truly do want to make the change. They do say, okay, you know what? I am combative. I am argumentative. Or, you know what? I don't hold myself accountable. Okay, I can be more feminine. I can be better. How is it that we're mad when men are saying, I want you to be more feminine. I want you to be more cooperative. And all we do, we don't really listen. We hear what we want to hear. All we heard was, okay, so the angry Black woman. That's literally what we heard, but that's not what the person said. We want our women to be more cooperative. We want our women to be more feminine. We want to be at peace. Don't you want to be at peace? Don't you want cooperation? Don't you want a man who's masculine? Well, just like you want a man who's masculine, they want a woman who's feminine. We as women talk, and not just racially, but we as women saying we want masculine men, but we're not willing to be feminine for those same men. We'll be feminine when we find out how masculine they are. So you want them to take us when we are not feminine. But then when we find out and we investigate how masculine they are, then we will be feminine. When we find out how argumentative or how cooperative they are, then we would decide we're not going to be argumentative, disagreeable, combative. Then, so I'm telling you, and don't make these mistakes and then get in relationships and then lose these valuable relationships because you did not want to listen. You're speaking to someone who's been married for 12 years. I've had trial and error. I am not perfect, but what I'm telling you is you can be better than how I was when I started in my marriage, how I was when I started in my relationships, other relationships that I've had where I could have been more feminine, where I could have been less combative, where I could have been less argumentative, where I could have been more cooperative. But no, you want to say what what I'm not doing, or what someone else is not doing, what men are not doing. Let's stop pointing the fingers about you, and say, okay, is this a problem with me? Can I be better? This is what I'm saying. Can we be better? Can we stop being mad when men say they want fit women? Don't you want a fit man, or do you want a fat man? If you do, then that's all fine. Do you want a man who is cooperative? Because I don't want a man who is combative and argumentative as well, because if he says he wants me to be at peace, he's going to have to be at peace as well. All right? So you have to understand these terms should not be trigger terms. When I say submissive, when I say argumentative, when I say combative, like these terms should not trigger you and then have you want to go all into a whirl spin. All I'm saying is you get to the point where you own your mistakes, be better. And again, this is not just for romantic relationships. This can help in all relationships. If you listen to my videos, you can take all of these things and put them in all types of relationships. But you do want, but we notice these things. These things are more magnified in romantic relationships because people tend to cut people off or not be friends with someone. I have this type of friendship, but you will see this in familial relationships, like family relationships. A lot of times you can't have a decent relationship with your mother, your father, your brother, sister, and cousins, because every time you're around, bad vibes, you're argumentative, you're combative. So all of these things can reflect in all types of relationships. You can't stay in business with someone because you're always arguing. You have issues at work because you always yelling, screaming, and arguing. You're always on level 10. Let's not get there, because if you're on level 10, then you lack self-control because someone has triggered you and caused you to be in a position that you didn't want to be in. They caused you to get your blood pressure up. They caused you to react in a way that you do not want to react. They are controlling your emotions. They are controlling how you feel and how you think, and you do not want that. So, and also, J. Joe 4040, hello, how are you as well? So, I do appreciate you guys joining. Watch on the playback. Hopefully, it doesn't have a copyright issues, but I'll work with that. I know how I'll handle that if there is any issue. But what I'm trying to say is, this is that video that I showed, and if you're on Instagram, you can only hear it, but this is a good video to show you what it is to be argumentative, because it wasn't what she was saying, it was how she was saying, how she was triggered. And he did ask, you seem triggered. So I've noticed sometimes she is triggered by a few other men on when they're saying things, and she's triggered sometimes with women. So I think in a way she's kind of balanced, but I'm saying she let someone control her mood in that moment. Whether I think it was justified or not, whether you think it's justified or not, even in put it back in your relationships, whether you think the act of what you're doing or not doing or whatever it is deserving, justifiable. The thing is, why are you letting your emotions control you? Why are you having to be combative? Why are you going back and back? Like, why? Why are we doing that? And the video that I did, like I said, with living single with Max and and Kyle. And Kyle was like, why are you you're just being so combative? Why are you, she like this repartee. Why are you doing this back and forth all the time? Every time I say something, you have to say something else. And she couldn't help it, because in the video she was like, dang, like she couldn't help it. And sometimes you guys are growing up in areas where you're used to it and you can't help it. But I'm urging you now to challenge yourself, to just think before you speak. And this is why I say, take the time to not say anything at all unless it is necessary and valuable. If you find that it has no value and is not necessary for you to say anything, don't say anything. I'm not saying do a silent treatment with people, but tell the person, you know what, I am on a journey right now. And I'm at this point where I am challenging myself to say things that are necessary and valuable, and I won't be able to have full conversation with you. Not against you. Now, if you're at work and you need to do these things, and you do that. But when you're around friends and family and other people, to do that. And I'm pretty sure if you're a woman, your man would appreciate some silence every now and then. So, if I told my husband I was on that journey to just not say anything unless it was of value, I'm pretty sure he'd get a chuckle out of it and probably do some things to try to make me say something. I know he would, because there's times in movies when I like to talk through movies, and sometimes I just try to be quiet and he's forcing me to say something. So, you know, I know that men would appreciate it. If you're a man listening and you find that you're combative, because there are some men that are like that, the woman might appreciate it. I'm telling you, it will bring you more peace. It will bring the other person peace. But I tell you, if there's if you watch, I could talk about it another time, but since I'm talking about it now, I will. Why Did I Get Married? The guy who plays Marcus, like Michael Jai White, he plays Marcus, and he is Angela's husband, and she's always and there was a time where he had to shut Keisha up and her, and he was like, you know, be quiet, and then he ends up leaving and walking home. If you guys seen that movie, sometimes men feel like this, that sometimes women are always combative and argumentative. They just don't hush their mouth sometimes. And when I say that, this is not me putting women in the 50s. This is sometimes you just always got something to say. It's always something. There's no peace. There's no quiet. And he just had to get away from that. And you can't tell me that you've never been around people that are like that. They suck the energy out of you because it's always got to be an argument. They're inviting you to an argument. Don't accept the invitation. And I say this because I do see it with women often, but there are men that they nitpick on purpose. And this is what she was doing. Kendra G, she was nitpicking the guy because she was already irritated from the beginning. And so there was a portion where he, I guess, used the term broke, don't be, you know, some type of broke. And she was like, well, I never heard that term like that. And it was just, she was kind of making little tiny jabs, and it was because she was irritated. So I just want to say men can be like this as well, but we do typically see it with women, especially women in our community. We are sometimes argumentative. I don't know why all the time. I don't know if it is because you grew up in a home where your voice didn't matter, or you were always witnessing an argument. And maybe I would say the latter would be more you have been in relationships, not necessarily romantic relationships, but you've had familial relationships where you were used to this back and forth. No one really listened to each other. It was always people talking at each other, and this is how you know how to communicate. But sometimes people are just on the defensive. I think there were some other things that was triggering her, and then she took it out on him. Some things maybe that was said that, even though it may not have been him necessarily, but some other things that triggered it. So I don't know. I don't know all those things. I'm not presuming to know all things about her, but I'm saying in this case, she admitted she was triggered, but I'm saying that she was argumentative is the correct term. She was combative in this interview. I guess if you call it an interview that she had with him. And I think it's called Singles Online, Singles Online. I think it is Singles Online. So it is entertaining. I think she has a great personality, and talented, beautiful, and all those things. But that is something that's lacking. Her feminine side and her being combative and argumentative. Does she care what I think? No. Will these things help her improve? Yes. And will she find her own journey at some point in her time? Yes. So again, I think there should be a filter with both men and women. You don't have to say any and everything. I think when we do speak, we should make sure that the things that we say is of value, that's necessary. So with that being said, I'm going to open up I'm going to give 5 to 10 minutes to allow people to respond, maybe 5. If no one responds in 5 minutes, then I'll get off. So I'm going to invite people on. If you're on Instagram, you can just ask to join, request to join. If you are on YouTube, Facebook, you can click the link. All right. So the link is posted. If no one joins in, you can do video. I'll give you the opportunity to do video, or you can come on and turn off your camera and then speak if you don't want to be seen on video. But I would like for you guys to put your input of what you thought about this video or what I was saying. So, and again, if you're just joining, thank you for listening to my content, because you don't have to, but you did, so I appreciate it. Okay. If you please watch other videos, you can go to my website, mrsdanielledevita.com. You can go to my Instagram, my Facebook. Most of my content is on YouTube. I do have some clips on Instagram, but most of my content is on YouTube. So you are able to do that. I do have some stuff. I'm a contributor on the Philip Scott show. He has a good show content, so you can watch his. I will be posting some more stuff to get on there. It's just traveling. I haven't been able to get all that done. So again, if you're just joining and you want to know what this content is about today, the topic is the terms argumentative, combative, cooperative. We hear these terms often, and combative or argumentative is you just like to argue. You are someone who likes to argue for whatever reason. I don't know if you like the makeup for it, the makeup, sleeping together, or you're just combative, like you're just very defensive. And every time someone says something, everything that comes out of your mouth is to retort what they're saying, but it's coming in an aggressive way. Cooperative does not mean to be a yes woman. It doesn't necessarily mean you always agree, but it means that you can work well with others and you can find a way to come to some reasonable grounds, or grounds where it's not always back and forth. You say your perspective, they say their perspective, and it's like, okay, so that's that. So I'll give people time to go into, request to respond. Again, this is not to say something negative, but this was a good view. And she is someone in the spotlight where people see and listen to her content. A lot of people listen, but I want you to know, as a woman who's listening to her content, if you're listening, just know that that was a form of argumentative and being combative. So don't do that. Don't do that. Learn from that situation. Okay. I do have some content I will do next time that will probably center around some of these trigger words. And I think sometimes when you are alone after that situation, ask yourself, why are you triggered? Why did these words trigger you? Or why did that person trigger you in some way? Ask that question. And if you do find out why, then maybe you can get the healing that you need by going to therapy or going to coaching. Okay. So again, just to wrap up, if no one comes on in the next few, I'll wrap it up. So we're talking about argumentative. Let's not be argumentative. Let's not be combative. Let's not always have something to say to retort back, being in an aggressive manner. Because again, in this video, I think she could have, these are the things that she could have said the exact same thing, but in a less argumentative way. So again, in the video, she did not know that was his name. So she kind of was already like, well, why are you using your stage name if you don't want to be recognized, as an artist, so to speak? So she would be better off saying, the name that you provided, is this your stage name? He could have said, no, this is my actual name. And then I'm like, oh, okay, I thought you were using your stage name as a way of, trying to get people to know who you are. Then she proceeded to be upset about, very irritable. And it was a way, she handled the situation about the whole producer artist. A producer is also an artist. Yes. And I think Mark Ronson is also a producer. Correct me if I'm wrong. He's the one who does the Bruno Mars, the Uptown Funk, and a few other stuff. I think he's a producer, but he is also listing himself as an artist, like on that song. So producer is a person who produces beats. I'm pretty sure they do other things as well. That person is also considered an artist. A person who creates and produces beats is also an artist. So she didn't know that, but it was the way she handled it. She was very kind of nasty with it, I would say, combative. And then she became kind of irritable. So it was nitpicking everything. Oh, I never heard that term about being that type of broke. And then towards the end, she was upset about how he mentioned that a woman would be lucky to be with him because of it. He named 4 things, but the thing he named first had to do with his industry. And she's like, why would you name that first? Which I agree. Why would you name it first? However, I do think it can be a perk, but you don't want someone to want you for that. So I think she could have framed it as, I noticed you use this first. Why? If this is not what you want women to, see you as. And then he tried to explain. I do believe he was masculine in the way how he handled it. So I don't think being argumentative is something that's masculine. I think it's just a bad habit for both men and women, children, everyone. Why waste time being argumentative, combative? All those things are not peaceful. And my goal for you is to be at peace, because you can't be in a peaceful relationship when you're not at peace with yourself. It was almost like her blood pressure was up and she was arguing with herself because he wasn't really argumentative at all. He let her speak. I will say that. But she cut him off many times. And I think sometimes we cut people off, myself included. I've done that. So this is also a journey that I'm on. So we got to be better with that. Now, again, it seemed more cut off because I broke the piece up in clips. So it comes across where it's just back to back choppy. But again, please, the goal is for you to be a peaceful person. And to do that, you cannot say you're a peaceful person, but you're argumentative and combative. And then you hate the term cooperative, because cooperative means you're at peace and you can come to an agreement with someone. Not necessarily that you guys come to the same agreement, but there's a way that you can find a resolution in a peaceful, diplomatic, amicable way. That's what cooperative is. And I don't think it's wrong that men ask for that. And I don't think it's wrong that women ask for that as well. So when men say, I want a feminine, fit, friendly, cooperative woman, there's nothing wrong with that. Just like you have your preferences too as a woman and what you want in a man. So that is all I have for you. I truly thank you for tuning in. I don't want this to drag on. I'll see you guys on Thursday at 9:30 Eastern time. All right, guys, take care. We live in a world where femininity, marriages, family, and courting is no longer valued. We live in hookup culture, situationships, and struggle love. The number one reason women struggle in long-term relationships, number one, femininity, and number two, staying in a relationship or entertaining people longer than the woman should. My name is Danielle DeVita, and I'm a relationship and femininity coach. I've been married for 12 years, and I want to help you get on your feminine journey and vet for the right man today. For more of my content, you can visit MrsDanielleDeVita.com, or you can go to YouTube, Instagram, or my Facebook page. Get on your feminine journey today. We live in a world